So as we work on our apps, we're following the principles of Agile software development. Agile software development has some principles that underlie it. A manifesto was written by several software developers about Agile software development, and they basically said that individuals and interactions are more important than processes and tools. Working software is more important over comprehensive documentation. Customer collaboration is more important than contract negotiation, and responding to change is more important than following a plan. Now, there are important things about plan, contract negotiation, documentation, which is kind of like your wiki and how to use stuff, and processes and tools. These are all important, but actually having software that works. So this one is really important, working software that you want it to be working all the time. So as you're developing your software, look at that homepage and say, hey, do all the buttons work? Keep it working and keep it going. Now, there's quite a few principles behind the Agile Manifesto, and those of you who really get into project leadership, you're going to want to take some time and read these and understand what they mean. But we want to satisfy the customer. It's about a focus on the customer with early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So you want it working as quickly as possible. You want it always to be working, and you want to continually be updating it and changing it. So the moment you get in there, you're going to want to start having that software actually work and do something from the very beginning. It is okay for things to change. You've got to be flexible. And when things change rapidly, be willing to change rapidly. Deliver working software frequently means frequently update. The faster the better in shorter little pieces. So it's better to update 2 or 3 things and update it today than to wait and next week you put in 15 things. So you always want it working in one to add things together. Now, business people and developers have to work together daily. This means your marketing and the people developing the software. So your logo developers as well as your marketers and your software writers all have to work together daily, and we're going to show you the platform to use. We're going to be using Trello for our project. You want to have highly motivated individuals. Now, by doing the process we did on Mad About Mattering, we self-selected to have highly motivated teams. So when we found teams that really worked together well, that showed great leadership, then our goal is to give you the environment and support you need, and then to trust you to get the job done. So we as teachers and supporters and mentors, we are just supporters of you, and our job is to help you get the job done and to amplify you in your effort. Now, your goal is to try to be as efficient as possible. Now, face-to-face conversation is always the best if you can do it. You know, things like FaceTime and Skype and that sort of thing. But when you can't do it, you're going to have to develop other ways to do things. Your measure of progress is software that works. You can have a lot of other stuff. You can have a perfectly organized Trello board, a lovely wiki, but that doesn't matter if your software doesn't work. So it's all about the software. Agile processes promote sustainable development. That means ongoing development, and you just want it to keep going and going and going. And improving. Do have attention to technical excellence and good design. When you do that, it becomes more agile, and agile means it moves quickly. Keep it simple. Keep things, focused on what really needs to be done. And you're a self-organizing team, so that's why we're kind of saying, okay, organize the board as you wish. Now, here's another key one. At regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective and then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. So you want to continually update. Okay, I think these things need to be done. I think these things don't need to be done. I think we need to move this off the board, that sort of thing. So you're constantly reflecting, you're agile, you're moving, and that sort of thing. Now, this website has lots of other good features and information on Agile software development. We're going to run to the Agile glossary, and we're going to look up a definition of a word that's an important word for what we're going to be doing. We are going to be using something called a Kanban board. And this Kanban method, there's books written on it and that sort of thing, is a method of continuous improvement. Now, it comes from a Japanese term, and it literally translates as visual board. This comes from TPS, or the Toyota Production System, and some people even do it with post-it notes. If you could imagine a little post-it note, and each post-it note is a task, and then you sort of move those through. Now, the important part of a Kanban board is a limit. So each person can only be doing, say, one thing at a time or two things at a time. So you have to limit how much you're working on. You do one thing at a time, you finish it, and then you move on. This is called work in process limit or work in progress limit. Now, when you have a situation that arises that really needs to be handled and everybody has a really clear focus that this is what needs to be done, then team members swarm to help those working on the activity that's blocking flow. So this means we can't do anything until we get a logo. So then you say, hey guys, we're going to swarm on this, and you swarm it and you get it done, and then you move ahead. So you're always improving, you're always trying to move ahead, and Agile software development is actually very exciting and a whole lot of fun when you have a great working team. It's very practical, and it focuses on, can we actually keep this software improving and working? So here we are in Trello. Trello, it follows the principles of Agile software development or Kanban, and we're going to kind of see how this works. So each column is something. Now you could just use it for something random, like here, ideas for names, and they're going to be going over here and enabling power-ups and turning on voting. So right now voting is turned on here. I'm an organizer, so I can see this, and members are allowed to vote on cards. So whoever organizes the group has to allow that. And then you can go. So let's go look at an app from last year, so you can kind of see how things end up working. So this particular app, they did a lot, and you can see all the stuff that ended up being done on their app. It's grayed out because they finished and they got those done. But basically what happens is when you have something that you do, you take it and say somebody bought the domain name. This would be on deck. Say I was going to buy a domain name. I would click this button, and I would change members, and I would add myself to that particular board and say save. You can also right click on it. Now if I was in the process of buying the domain name, then I would write here. Now I can always click, I can change a due date, I can copy it, archive it, do all kinds of stuff to it. And if I was in progress, it'd be in progress. If I was testing it, it would move to testing, and somebody else might add their name to the board. And then when I'm done, I would move over here. So you can see people work together on presentations. They worked on, they wanted lollipops for their presentation that they had. They wanted their app trailer. They had all these different activities. They can even put in pictures of the board. We want a books page, or we want other pages. And you can see all these things were the things they got done for this particular app that ended up on the App Store, making Instagram, that sort of thing. So the whole idea is you just kind of brainstorm all these things to do. Now, if I wanted to say that, let me go to one of these other boards. We're going to go to domestic violence. And I'm going to say possible work to do is create some mock-ups on for the logo. And I'm going to click add. Now I can click on this card now, and I can do the @ sign. Like if I wanted to just do it to myself, I think it would do it. I can @ people, so I can @ other people on the project by doing the @ sign, and I can vote things up and down. I can add checklists. I can add members, I can add a due date, I can even add attachments, and this is nice for like, this is a Google Doc, or this is a link to this. Now if you have usernames and passwords, this is where you want to put them, and you say, okay, I created the Tumblr account, here's the username and password, because this is stuff you do not want to publish, you do not want to share everywhere. Now subscribe means I want to know every single thing that happens with this card. I want to get all the notifications, and there's all kinds of other features that you have too. Now when somebody decides they want to do it, say I decided I want to do it, I would click on member, I would add my name, and then I would be on that page. Now I could go across and I could say, okay, this is on deck, or I'm in progress, or I want to do it, or I can click here and I can change members, and I can take me off of that card as well. So you can remove people and all that sort of thing. And then as they move through, you have progress. Now, one thing that you want to notice in Trello is that you have all of these lovely features. So you can take a tour here and learn all about Trello. There's lots and lots of features that you can have and that you can do. You can also click on your name and set your profile. You probably don't want to have your full name on your profile. You probably want to tweak it, your settings or your face or that sort of thing. And then this is notifications. This is people that have added things to boards, made me an admin, which if they'll make me admins, I can help them out a lot. And Trello is it's part of Agile software development. You just want to work together flexibly, communicate with each other, and you can do all kinds of cool things with Trello. But the biggest thing is communicating, setting dates, planning what each person will do. But you want to kind of start with this possible work to do. Now, every so often, you want people to kind of decide that, okay, we're going to clean stuff off, or we might do this, or we might not do that. The other thing you want to remember is in progress, you want to limit the number that each person can have in progress. So each person probably only needs to be working on one thing at a time, and you can actually make a little column here that says on hold. So like, I've made all the progress I can make, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to put it on hold for just a little bit, and then when I get back to it, I'm going to go back and put it in progress. So sometimes things will have to go back and forth, but you really want to limit this. Some people will call this WIP, work in progress, or you can just say in progress, okay? If you want to, and these are the names, and then you have cards and all that. Now, I wouldn't archive the cards at this point. You can even see the old project that I did in archive, just so you can see what it is you accomplished back when you did the card. And I use this to track all kinds of things with the people who help me from across the world, and it's just a great tool to use. It also links with other things like Slack. Slack is a great tool to chat with people and talk with people and to communicate. And if you decide you really want a chat feature, we can talk about Slack and how to link Trello with Slack and how it works and that sort of thing. So this is a tool that you definitely will be using as you do your Agile software development and work with your partners.
So here's some essential principles. Limit your work in progress. Put a number aside for Trello list. You don't necessarily want one person to work on every day in class. You've got some people who may just check in once a week or every couple of weeks, or they go out on spring break. So the work has got to flow from teammate to teammate. Now, the way this works, particularly, say, for example, you say, we want to set up a total blog, or we want to set up an Instagram account for us, or a Twitter account, whatever. You'll have to share those user IDs for certain sites like that in Trello. You just can't share it with yourself. You're serious with Trello. And if you do this, make sure that the passwords you set are not the same as everything else with your other accounts. It's always a good idea if you have to use a shared account to set up something totally different in your work. And then you also do not publish your Trello board to the public. Now, just have teachers and students to us who can communicate. We have a list of those emails in the Google Doc that teachers have. You can just invite them. You probably might have more than one administrator have involved in Trello board. It can help you, and you help coordinate with teachers and administrators. They can help organize and manage things. You could possibly leave your Trello board with other tools like Slack and IFTTT. There's all kinds of stuff out there. We're not going to limit you, but also remember your focus is not on the process, it's on getting production, it's on creating the app. Focus on communication, getting work done, completing tasks in communication. It should be able to flow from person to person to person. If you say, I'm waiting on so-and-so, or I can't get into so-and-so's account, or I'm stuck because something is not happening by somebody else, then that's the opportunity to swarm. You need to figure out how can somebody else collaborate. So if you work on a task, you don't quite get done, you don't put it on that Trello card and leave a message for the next person so they know what to do when they come in. You could even make a little schedule in their busy class when they're going to be working or something like that. And remember that the more efficiently we can work together, you are like small software companies. Learn from other software companies. Start reading things on things with software development. And the more you can work together, the better you can work, the more flow you can get, the more work you can get out of everybody you can bring. The better off your team is going to be as you create software. Also remember that software needs to pretty much always be working. Focus on completion because you have all page done. working